Good morning, good day, good afternoon. Thank you for watching this presentation. I'm Nicholas O'Sullivan. Today I'm here to speak to you about Go Help Me. So has anyone ever heard of crowdsourcing? Yes, well, for those of you who are not familiar with crowdsourcing, as defined by the Oxford Dictionary, it is the practice of obtaining information or input into a task or project by enlisting the services of a large number of people, either paid or unpaid, typically via the internet. So what this presentation is about is Go Help Me, an organization that seeks donations from charitable causes by using crowdsourcing, and the system which is being designed. So let's begin. So Go Help Me is a charitable organization ran by volunteers and a chairperson, who is Alex Smith. So what Go Help Me does is use crowdsourcing to fund causes. So GHM have asked for system to be designed that will reduce the current processes that can be lengthy and require lots of manual tasks. So as we have found through 2 reports, Go Help Me is seeking a system that will resolve issues being experienced and bring their business operations online and streamline them in order to make their business operations easier and more efficient. So to follow will be the system analysis of Go Help Me's Patrons Electronic Funds Donation System. Here is a brief outline of our presentation. So our first step in completing this part of our analysis was in developing a use case. So a use case is a diagram that provides a graphic depiction of interactions among the elements of the system. So there were 4 actors identified in our analysis. That is the volunteer, the chairperson, the charitable cause, and the patron/donor. So as we can see here, there is a bounding box. Note all the actors are outside the box, and they are considered external to the system. So a use case here is a donor needs to be able to browse the causes, search for causes, and view their donation history. But a donor also needs to be able to log in, and a charitable cause also needs to log in as well. So the next step in our analysis is the context level diagram, which is a high-level view of the proposed system. So the diagram defines the boundary between the system and its environment, showing all entities that interact with it. So here it can be seen that there are 4 sinks: patron, charitable cause, payment processor, and the volunteer chairperson. So if we look further, we can see all high-level processes that will be completed by each of these sources /sink. So as we can see, the charitable cause receives a donation, but a charitable cause would also register as a charity. They would submit a cause, and then that would flow on to the volunteer chairperson, who would have causes to approve, and then approved courses would flow back in. Likewise, the patron would register as a user, they would submit a donation, and they would receive their receipt for that donation. So the next step in our analysis is the level 0 DFD that shows data in the system with the expected processes. So as we can see here, the level 0 DFD shows 5 entities, 8 processes, and 3 stores. So a typical flow of information would look something like this. Starting at process 1, cause list, the output of this process is provided to the patron, who then, should they choose to donate, this information would flow to process 2, the master process, then onwards to login process, which is number 3, and then finally process 4 and 5. So after both the context level diagram and the level 0 DFD, it is possible to determine how the system will relate to entities within the system. So the ERD, the entity relationship diagram, shows the expected relationships between the stored data in the system, and it is also necessary at this point to define the assumptions in building the diagram. So the ERD developed for this project lists 5 entities: patron, donation, cause, and charitable causes, and payment record. So these entities have relationships such as 1 to 1, or 1 to many, such as between patron and donation, we can see that it is a 1-to-0 or more relationship. For instance, one of the assumptions that have been made is that for each donation made by a patron, there can only be one payment record. So what this might mean is that the patron would have to pay in one single payment, so there would be no part payments for a donation. So full amounts would be necessary. So with the ERD done, it becomes possible to create the CRUD diagram. So the CRUD diagram provides for an easy way to see the access that processes would require for the system to function correctly. For example, as we can see here, a patron can read their yearly report, but not create, read, update, and delete their yearly report. So this is because otherwise a patron could falsify information on their record if they had create and update privileges. Furthermore, reporting is largely one of the job functions of the volunteer director, so hence they would be expected to require the ability to create, read, update, and delete reports. So data elements define the expected types of input in the system. For instance, a phone number would be a number type with a set length of, say, 10 digits or even 8. So as we can see here, a date of birth would have an expected input of day, month, year. Whereas a billing postcode would be a size of 4, a street address might be a size of 30. So how would this system look? Well, to date, a design prototype has been developed. The prototype considers all knowledge learned through tools such as DFDs and entity relationship diagrams. So why a prototype? Well, it constructs a clear model of the system and helps to obtain data on the system which doesn't exist already, such as user feedback and analytics. So let's take a look at the Patrons Electronic Funds donations which has been developed. So what we can see here is the home page of the donation system. So we can see there's a prominent logo there. And we've got relevant links. We have causes, we have a donate now button, and there's some emotive pictures there. So as we scroll down, we get to see some company information there. Scroll down a bit further, we can see that there are causes. So these causes are featured on the home page, and then from here there's an option to donate to one of these causes. And if I was to just click on this link, you will see that there will be a loading bar in the middle. So this is done to help to keep the user engaged, and so it's not the typical blank page in between loading pages, which is quite common in web development today. So as we can see here, there's a large picture, there's social media integration here so that it can be shared with the user base. It's possible to see donation histories here on the side as well. So there's also a donate now button. So if you were to click on this donate now button at the top of the web page here, it would take you to this page, and or to the cause list, that is, or a cause grid. If we scroll down a bit further, we can see that we've got a footer area. We've got help by donate for causes, help by becoming a volunteer. So if we just go back to this home page here, one of the other features of this is it is mobile friendly. So I'll just make this window a little smaller. So as I make this window smaller, it's going to change the perspective, which what we're looking at now is probably similar to what an iPad would be seeing in portrait. And if I make it a bit smaller here again, that's probably about what an iPad would be seeing there. Scroll down so we can still see things very clearly. If we go to a smaller form factor again, a bit like a web page, so we can see that you click the menu, then it just appears here at the top there, just like so. So yeah, the website is compatible with all devices. So the website, as you can see, it features HTML5, it's grid layout, pagination, and sliders. So how will the system look for the charitable causes and the patrons to see their donations and campaigns and the volunteer directors? So let's have a look at how the actual reporting side of this will look, and for patrons to be able to see important information like their donation history. So this is the account side of the website that enables the patron to update their account settings and see their donation history. And then this is the charitable cause/charities view of the website that enables all their campaigns to be seen and modified. So if we see in the column here to the left, you can see that there are other features seen here, such as a button for deposit settings that enables the campaigner to update their account details for payments. So finally, the back of house view, which is for volunteers and chairpersons, where causes can be viewed, authorized, and/or deleted from the website. So features in this navigation are options to see donations, deposits, and patrons and subscribers, all there in the left navigation there. So, in closing, more work is required in order to move to the next stage of the prototype, which would be a matter of implementing the actual code to ensure the system provides the functions required. Then, of course, the next prototype testing would be sought to ensure it meets the functional requirements of the system. So I hope that this presentation has given you a good understanding of the current Patrons Electronic Funds donation system that's being developed for GoHelpMe. So if you have any questions, please feel free to email me at nick.o'sullivan@cqmail.com. I'm the Systems Analysis. Thank you for listening to this presentation.